Hello, my name is Mariah Chapman, and today we're going to be talking about an invasive species of ant called the Argentine ant. This ant can now be found in Northern California along with 7 other native species of ants that we have been researching. These native species of ants tend to have a trade-off between exploitative and interference competition, so they're good at one or the other. Exploitative competition is whenever you deplete a resource so that other species cannot use it. So let's say that an ant gets to a food resource, eats most of the food, other ants cannot utilize that resource, so they are preventing other species from using it. Interference competition is whenever you interfere with other ants or species for a resource, so you prevent them from getting it. So like pass interference in football, one player prevents another player from catching the ball, and then you get the resource or the ball. And it seems that Argentine ants are really good at both forms of competition, both exploitative and interference, and that makes them a great invasive species. So most of these most of these native ants are good at one or the other. So they can get to the resource quickly, find it, eat as much as they can, and then another ant species shows up and then they leave. So they're really good at exploitative competition. The ants that are showing up and fighting for the resource and are able to consume whatever's left, those are more interference competition ants. So they're able to interfere with whoever's there to begin with to sort of steal the rest of the food. And we think that these Argentine ants are the best at both because they have a lot of colony ants, well, a lot of worker ants in particular. So they have a large colony size. So not only do they have a higher chance of finding the food because they have more ants just around in general, but then they can recruit more ants in order to take over the food source. They also tend to eat insects that are high in carbohydrates, so they're eating foods such as honeydew. So then they have extra energy, so a carbohydrate surplus. And then last but not least, they have no predators around, so that just helps them keep their numbers up in general anyways, because they have no natural predators. So we think about how this exploitation-interference trade-off is affecting the native species because they're going to have one or the other exploitation competition or interference competition, and then the Argentine ant is left out of this trade-off because they're good at both.